Welcome to Pine Stars, podcast highlighting University of Indianapolis baseball. Talking a little shit, catching up with some new and some old Greyhounds. We have some new faces with us today, but with me, as always, is Brian Tyrannosaurus Rimke. Stepping in for the Kurt is Brandon Stidham, recent graduate from the UND Greyhounds, and I am Brad Bates. Welcome, Stidham. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Well, Kurt got a call from Brad Meter, the GM for the Cincinnati Reds, who was watching the show, and he said if Kurt is not going to play for the Yankees for 30 million, we're going to bring him in for a tryout. So he's currently over in Cincinnati with a tryout, looking to only make 28 million. So we were happy that you could step in.
Yeah,
Welcome.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
a
real
little bit about
successful. How about that jump from the 45 and over baseball league to the Reds? I'm not sure who it says more about,
I
but
agree with you.
I
I
mean,
agree. I mean,
Kurt's
well,
doing things.
you feel Kurt's presence on this show,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so but he's not here, so we're not going to talk about him anymore. So Stidham, you're a local guy. You just finished playing ball last year, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you were with the Hounds for 4 years. You're from Whiteland. So
I was with
you're
the house for 5 years.
victory lap, just like I
Got
did.
an extra. Got an extra.
Attaboy. I like to hear that. Not a whole bunch of time on the field or on the mound. But you had all that time in the dugout to chirp. And I want to say, and you need to tell me if this is true or not. So at the super regional game last year, there was a very clear dugout warning given to you guys. And I was told after the game that you had started that process. You want to talk a little bit about that situation?
I mean, that's nothing new, honestly.
Okay.
We had to have led the nation in dugout warnings. So that was a common theme for our team. Just get everybody fired up early in the game.
I
So,
love to hear that.
That's not a rare occurrence.
That warms my heart. Hits me right in the feels, man. That is awesome.
Yes, sir.
But I
Nice
was
to see some traditions carry on.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
right. But I was looking at your career stats online, and I don't know whether you're aware of this or not, but you're evidently still on the team and quite productive at the plate. You're currently hitting 368 with a home run and 6 RBIs. So, I
I
mean,
mean, so that gives me 2 career home runs. 2.
there you
I'm
go.
happy to hear that. I'm
There you
happy to
go.
hear that.
All right. Well, I had a chance to sit down with Coach Reddy earlier this week and talk a little bit about the past series with Davenport. We're going to cut to that clip at this time, and then we'll be right back. All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us again this week. Really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with me about the past series. So, taking a look at the overall, we're 4-7 on the season, coming against some pretty stiff competition and going down and traveling, still not able to play at home yet. Traveling takes a toll. It's tough. But I remember at the first pitch dinner, you made comment about we come out of these first 12 games. If we're 5-7, we're going to have a real great shot to get back to Cary. And right now you're 4-7. You got 2 games on Friday. Could put you that, 5-7, 6-7 set that you're looking for.
Yeah, it was probably the most difficult non-conference schedule that we've had.
Yeah.
In my 20 years here at UND, including my playing career too.
Yeah.
You remember, some of the teams we would open up with, but back in those days, it was more so just about wins. You get wins, you have a nice tidy record at the end of the season. You got a good shot at getting into the NCAA tournament. Well,
Right.
It's a little different now with the criteria. You have to play the best competition you can play. And we went out and we found some really good teams to play early, we've played pretty well. Our pitchers, I mentioned this earlier that you exclude the Friday doubleheader, which was extremely windy and
You're in the eye of a hurricane during that ball game.
It was an outlier, so to speak. If you take those 2 games off and look at the other 9, our pitchers are 8 for 9 in terms of giving us a chance to win. So that's all.
Good quality starts and good
Mhm.
and some good pitching
Yep.
for sure. Yeah. So starting off on Friday, so I was able to catch most of the first game Davenport had their Facebook live stream going and no announcers, no anything. So you couldn't necessarily see the scoreboard and all that, but all I kept seeing was balls leaving the yard, Bodie hit 3 home runs. I
Yeah.
mean, the flag out in center field was just straight across, looked like it had been concreted up there.
Yeah.
Um,
It was
Tell
a,
me a little bit about that game because it just seemed wild. You guys, I know
yeah.
you guys made some errors, but I mean, you hit 7 home runs.
Yeah, the conditions were definitely favorable for the hitters on Friday. There's no question about that. I mean, heck, Remke would have hit him out of there. You know. So,
Yeah,
but it
that's some
was
Gale Force win. That's a Gale Force win
it
that can get
was
his
it
ball out of the
was
yard.
yeah, it was a messy game, but I'll tell you what, we never quit. We had the lead going into the ninth inning. We had a 3-run lead, and we coughed it up. And then we scored 3 in the top of the 10th, and a 10th, and then we coughed that lead up. And we scored 1 in the top of the 11th, and we were able to hold on and get the win. And again, I think that I've played for coaches growing up that if you're having a little difficult time taking care of the baseball and maybe making mistake after mistake, and things get a little I don't know what the right term is, a little
Wheels are falling off.
the
Is
wheels were
basically what's
falling
happening.
off,
Yeah,
but you're able to you're able to right the ship and never quit and pull it out. That's a big that's a big box to check off for us.
yeah,
Is never quit. And like I said, I've had the coaches in the past like, we don't deserve to win. Well, you can never ever think that you don't deserve to win a baseball game, no matter how poorly you've played. It's never too late to turn it
yeah,
around. I don't care what the score is. And
yeah.
that's how we approach it. And when we were able to battle through those extra innings, and Drake Downing did a fantastic job for us, and we ended up
Was he the
pulling out a
closer or
win.
the one that came in the last inning?
Yes. Yeah. Mhm.
Man, he was just pumping heat and pumping strikes, and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
he went out there and it was like, I'm all about business. Like I
Yeah.
said, it was a Facebook stream, so there's no, but you could just tell by his approach on the mound, his mannerisms, like he was tired of fucking around and like, let's get this game over with.
Yeah.
And he just came out and shoved, and
He
it was
did.
awesome. But it
It
was
was
that
great.
whole, I mean, you remember it was Vart's old win the inning. I mean,
Yeah.
every inning you
Yeah.
guys went out there
Right.
and kept competing that first game. And it was, I mean, it was inspiring to watch that game.
Yeah.
Um, that
I
first
mean,
game
that's the thing is
winning
a lot of
17, 16, and 12. Is that right?
yeah, a lot of teams, especially after coughing up the lead in the ninth, that would be it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be
Yep.
very hard to recover from. But like that's just not how we approach it. I mean, I don't care what the score is. We always have a chance to make some noise with our lineup, and our pitchers again have just done a fantastic job up to this point in keeping us in the game and giving us a chance to win. And that's what it boils down to.
Yep. So you win game one, 17, 16, and 12. Game two didn't necessarily go great. Lost 16 to 6.
Yeah.
But then you came out. Did you play 2 Saturday or you played 1 Saturday, 1 Sunday?
No, we played 2 on Saturday. So yeah, it was again, we challenged the guys on Sunday or on Saturday. Sorry. We came back to Indy on Sunday, but we challenged the guys on Saturday. I remember getting off the bus and I remember saying, look, the spring training's over, fellas. The spring training games are done. It's
Yeah.
time to start playing great Greyhound baseball. And we did. We really played well for 16 innings. We had an unfortunate, thing in the last inning of the second game, but for 16 straight innings, we played really, really well. And regardless of any unfortunate plays, that are
Yeah.
just tend to happen in baseball, we beat the
We've
brakes
all been
off
on
them.
we've all been on teams where that situation's happened.
Yeah,
We've all
yeah.
played in
I
that
mean, it is
game
what it is.
where it happens. But you know what? You just take that as motivation to never let it happen again, and you keep
There,
moving forward. And you
I
know
told
what?
the
It's the
guys
learning
too, there's
process.
no difference between a good non-conference opponent. There's no difference, or not a big difference between 2-2 and 3-1. I mean,
Yeah.
in conference maybe, but not so much in non-conference. Our message was sent. We played really well, and on Saturday, and 2-2 against the team that was the number one seed in the region last year.
Yeah.
Was,
And they
was
were a good ball
not
club.
a bad outcome. Yeah, they've again they've coming from Michigan, they've only been outside I think a total of 4 days, two times in Kansas City the week before and two times in Johnson City. So
Yeah.
they're we're cheering for them now. I mean they I think they got enough arms and
I don't
they
know.
can swing the bat pretty
Let's
well.
not
And
go there. Let's not be the we're cheering
well,
for them.
like I said,
We're not putting a Quincy uniform in our dugout anymore.
yeah, I know. And in the old days, that's maybe how you'd look at it. But now with the mathematical formulas that they use, your
You're
common
right.
opponents or your teams, that anybody that you play, you want them to do well. I mean you
Yeah,
don't
your
want,
KPIs
yeah,
pieces.
KPI, RPI, PI, all that stuff. You want your opponent, and that's why we scheduled difficult in the first place, is so that
Yeah.
we felt like we were going to play teams that would have good records towards the end of the year. And I feel like Davenport, once they get, a little bit more experience outside and get kind of up to speed, I think they're going to rattle off some wins. So,
Yeah.
again, we got to cheer for them. Maybe we don't want to, but we got to.
I I understand. It's begrudgingly, but I do understand. But that Saturday, you again had another solid start from Gavin Smith. He got touched up a little bit. I mean, he gave up 6 hits, but then you had Aiden Pearson come in, 4 innings, 1 hit, I think,
Yeah.
shut him down.
Yeah.
That's really nice to be able to call on somebody out of the bullpen to come in and just shut the door.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
and then you go to game two, Aiden Tran, 7 innings, spread out some hits, gave up 3 runs, struck out 6. Like, you know, like you said, and I'll be honest with you, it's a little deceiving because I see you guys giving up 16 runs in back-to-back games and 2 pints worth of runs. And so it's kind of like, but when you really look at it, your pitching staff is doing a nice job.
Yeah, I mean, I throw that day out the window because you got a short porch to right and 20-mile-an-hour straight line winds. I mean,
Yeah,
again, in fact, we hit
that'll
7 more runs in the game alone. The
that'll
first
do it.
game alone. It wasn't a very good day to be a pitcher, regardless of
Mm.
which team you were on. There's no question about that. I mean, but the rest of the
Well,
way,
the
the pitchers have done well.
the Davenport pitchers reign. You made comment a couple shows ago about, hey, you want to play home run derby? We can play home run derby. You
Yep.
pop 7 home runs in game one, and wind aided or not, you got to hit the ball. You got to
That's
put it
right.
out
You
there
do.
near the fence in order for that wind to come into play. So
You
you
know,
guys,
I,
that swing comes around, and I'm excited to see Bodie. I mean, I know he had an explosive day that first day on Friday, and maybe cooled off tinge on Saturday. But man, if you
yeah.
get him rolling in that lineup,
Oh yeah, yeah, he can swing the bat. And EJ Davari, my top assistant, we were talking about it after the game. I mean, yeah, we hit 7, but like almost all of them would have been gone anywhere.
gone
Yeah,
anywhere
I
else,
mean, there
yeah.
might have been one or maybe two that you
Don't.
could have pointed
It
out and
wasn't
said,
Luke
well,
Smock.
maybe but the
It
other
was.
5, whew, they were
It
going
wasn't
they
Luke
were going out
Smocks.
no
Luke
matter what.
Smocks had to be no doubter because he was my click to pick. So I know Luke's was good to go.
Yeah, I got to go back and look at. I can't even remember all of them. I mean, they were
I
there were
It
there
was
there
impressive
was
because it
yeah.
I was like I said, I was watching it with no commentary, so I'm having to watch and kind of interpret, and then you hear cheers from the fans or whatever. But there's like every other hitter I look up and it's like, wait, they're just trotting around the base. They're just Bodie goes and then Bounce Baby goes and then Chase hits one over a triple fence in dead
It,
center, which it
that one
wasn't
was
short in
a
center, was it?
no. That fence was 400 plus, and I mean it's a 30-foot tall fence too as well. So I mean I
And
do the math on that. I mean
Munson hit one that was even bigger, right?
yeah, Munson hit one in the nightcap that was. I mean, in that was not wind aid. The wind had died down at that point. It was just. I mean, that ball might be one of the furthest balls I've ever seen hit.
Kingpin,
Yeah,
coming through.
I told him. I said, "Hey, that's how I used to hit him."
Did you tell him the story about the dugout?
No, we can. We'll save that one for
We'll
another
save
day.
that one. We'll save that one. All right. So looking at the upcoming week, you're headed down to Springfield, Missouri. You got kind of a little round robin. You got 2 games with Washburn. We talk a lot about nicknames on this show. They're the Ichabods. I'm not gonna lie. That's solid.
I don't know what an Ichabod is. I'm sorry.
I think it's just like an old curmudgeon. Like wears a top hat and it just kind of sounds like a curmudgeon. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what it is either, but I think that's why I like it, because it's so rare. But they're 5-6 overall. And then you play what is currently number 24 Drury for a game.
Yep.
Play 2 games on Friday, and then on Saturday you play Missouri S&T, who
Won the tournament last year.
won that tournament last year and made it into the regional. And then you got a game again on Sunday with Washburn.
Yep.
So again, kind of regional games. I don't think is Washburn. I don't believe is in the region.
Washburn's not a region opponent, but they were in their regional last year, I believe.
Okay, they're in the MIAA conference.
You have to get Scotty to double check that one.
Yeah, we'll get him on that for the rest of the show. But
they're typically a pretty good ball club. Yes.
All right. Any final thoughts you want to share with us for this upcoming weekend?
I think you just have to look at things to look for. I think you got to look for us to play very similar as we did on Saturday against Davenport, regardless of the outcome. We took care of the baseball. We ran the bases well, and we put together some pretty good at bats, and by golly, we pitched it really well. So I think that's what you're going to see moving forward. You're going to see more and more of that, and by the end of the year, I think we're going to be exactly where we want to be.
I like to hear that. All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time, and good luck this weekend down in Springfield, Missouri.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All right. We appreciate Coach Reddy for taking the time and joining the show. Rimke, I know, or Stidham, what's if you got a chance to watch any of the games this last weekend, anything that stood out to you?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and we talked about this going into the weekend with Coach Reddy, was another early season matchup against a quality opponent. And I think when you go into those, obviously you want to win the series, but I don't think a split's a bad takeaway here. Obviously game one, it was a little bit of a wiffle ball game, 17-16, but got away with that. Lots of home runs, I think highlighted by Bodie, got 3 out of the yard.
Yeah.
Game two didn't go their way, but bounced back, played really well game 3 on Saturday with a 6-2 win, and really had a really good shot to win the series, kind of losing the game 4 in a heartbreaker.
Yeah. Stidham, anything jump out to you?
Honestly, it's early in the season. I think guys are going to start, finding their footing. Guys coming back from injury, obviously, Benny Rogers. I think it's just going to start clicking.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big piece, right? They haven't had Big Ben on the mound. And, the pitching staff is still, we talked already about it, the pitching staff is still throwing well. There's a lot of errors. I say a lot. The one game, there were 7 errors. But again, getting outside, and Rimke, you and I talked about it. It's not like, it takes a while once you start getting outside. You're not taking ground balls off the gym floor. Now, granted, they got the bubble now, but, it's still just not the same. So those things will smooth themselves out. 100% agree. But there was a little detail in there that we didn't get to, and Reddy kind of cut off that story. But the year we go to the World Series in 2000, Reddy's our catcher, right? We're playing in the regional up at Erie, Pennsylvania. And I can't remember. I think we're playing Grand Valley. We're beating them. We're up some. It's a close game. And I can't remember exactly how many guys were on base. But Reddy's hitting left-handed and hits a ball, absolute bomb. I mean, you knew it almost before, again, one of those, it before the ball even hits the bat that this pitch is getting ready to be just crushed. And in true Reddy fashion, he pips it, right? And does a little bat flip. Well, I didn't know this part of the story. When he did his little bat flip, his bat landed in Grand Valley State's dugout. And that's probably because he bowed his approach. His route to first base was leave the left-handed hitter's batter's box and then trot over and basically skim his back pockets on the front railing of their dugout and then hit first and go around. I mean, it was like the biggest banana peel, right? So their dugout is just pissed. I mean, they're fucking livid about it. And the assistant coach looks over our first base coach, Mark Bias, and says, "Does he always do that shit and pimp it like that?" And Bias, without missing a beat, looks at him and goes, "He usually tells you how far it went." And I'm telling you what, that whole scene, that whole situation was fantastic. But one of the biggest pimped home runs I've ever seen. But Stidham, we sit on this show and we talk and tell stories from late 90s, early 2000s teams. We kind of want to hear a little bit about maybe some more recent situations or happenings or good dugout miscues during your time. You got anything for us?
I got a couple things. I still got guys GAing over there playing, so I'm going to get people in trouble.
I would appreciate that. I think they would too.
For about a whole season, we had a broken down tractor in our dugout. That was the home run tractor. And then in 2024, when we hosted the regional, one day it got rained out, and we had to take care of the field. And center field was flooded. I've never seen it like that ever. Somehow, some way, Reddy came with mattresses from God knows where and we were soaking up water in center field for hours.
God, we used to have to do that shit, and it was big couch cushions.
We had
Big couch
mattresses.
cushions, and then we had buckets. I can't believe you did mat. Of
We
course you
had,
did
we had
mattresses.
buckets too. We had buckets too.
Get the bucket, go over and wring it
Yep,
out,
yep,
soak up. Oh
yep.
my God. Kyle
Exactly.
Kaler used to have us do that too.
Some things never change.
Oh my God.
Yes,
So
sir.
which dorm had no mattresses after that weekend?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, a water soaked mattress, you better hook that up to that. Did you guys get that tractor fixed and then haul those mattresses off with that tractor?
I'm not sure, but the tractor was there, and then one day it was just gone. So I'm not even sure what happened to the tractor.
Somebody in the neighborhood scrapped it.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah, it ended up at that pawn shop with it. Our space heaters ended up in it. All right, I got one more question for you, and then we're going to take a look at the next weekend series for the UND Greyhounds. So I'm thinking about what is the best post doubleheader meal, knowing you're probably let's say it's a Friday night and then you got to play again Saturday. So you're not Stidham, you're not heading out to the bars downtown. You're not doing all that, but you're just trying to. This is your go-to meal after a long day.
I'd probably say Enzo's right there on campus. I'd have to say. Good
Okay.
spot. And then shout out my roommate Zach. He's from Cincinnati, so Skyline. Went there quite a few times.
Oh, that's a dangerous pick, man.
Yeah, yeah, those days after are interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Rimke, what was your go-to meal?
Oh man. If it's the night before, because if it was daytime, Fuller was taking us to Pizza Hut buffet all day long.
The buffet.
But that's just a
that was the one.
activity.
It was the Pizza Hut buffet right there across from the or right there by the 36 or 31 and 465.
No, we went to Emerson Beach Grove.
Oh, you were high class in it.
They knew when Josh walked in that Dr. Pepper was being delivered. He didn't even have to order it. That's how often he was over there. After that, it was, I don't know. We feel like there was a few nights over at McHugh's.
Okay.
For pizza and a couple beers just to have an early night.
Yeah, we didn't have anything to. It didn't matter if we were game ready.
Well, no, I just sleep that off, But no, nothing fancy. I mean, back then, I'm going to guess the food options on campus are slightly better than what we used to rock with.
You don't like Streets? You're not a fan of Streets? The chicken tender basket from Streets?
Classic.
The ones they couldn't give away during the week.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're going to refire these up for you. No, man, it nothing real special, I don't think. If somebody's parents were in town, and they were willing to take us out, I mean, Josh and J.O., sometimes Ferret and I, man, we'd hit up that Texas Roadhouse down there off Southport.
Yep.
But that was somebody else's foot in the bill. We didn't have that kind of money.
Right. Rimke, I think you know where I'm going with this. I mean, after doubleheader long day, I am mixed surf and turf all day. I'm going to McDonald's, and I'm because that's an off menu, that's an off book item. So, but it takes some construction. So basically, you order, you take a double cheeseburger, take the bun off. You order a fillet of fish sandwich, take the fillet, put it on top of the burger. You get some chicken nuggets. You can fit 3 chicken nuggets across. Then you take some of those fries, put them right on top, put that bun back on, smash it down. It's mixed surf and turf, dude. It is.
That's crazy.
You get a large high C. You're hitting all the food groups. There's your fruit. You got all the food groups in there.
The fruit.
Mixed surf and turf is the way to go.
What would that run you nowadays? About $28?
Back then it was 15. Back then it was $15.83. That's how much I used to get it.
Instead of I know that's true because I've seen them eat it.
Yeah, that's absurd. That's absurd.
But you know what? When you have a fine piece of machinery like that, you got to feed it.
You got it.
We had a relief pitcher that could possibly have the world record in a 4-for-4 8 in like amount of time.
He had a what?
A 4-for-4 from Wendy's.
Oh,
burger, fries, nuggets, drink, everything like under a minute.
Under a minute?
So he's quick.
Yes.
Damn.
That might exit just as quickly.
No, that's relief pitchers.
I'm taking. Well, yeah, that's right. Relief pitchers are a different breed, brother.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're crazy.
A lot of stories been told about those relief pitchers. All right, let's talk about the upcoming series. So they're headed to Springfield, Missouri for another kind of round robin deal. They've got two games with Washburn, Ribke. They're the Ichabods.
Mhm. Don't hate it. Don't
I
hate it.
still don't. Even after I talked to Reddy, I didn't look it up. I still don't know what it is, but love that nickname. They got two with them. They got one with number 24 Drury, who was obviously in the
Mhm.
regional last year, and then Missouri S&T, who won, I think, the conference tournament and made it to the regional too. So another three tough opponents, big wins, like Reddy was saying with the KPI, but he's going to be really excited. He feels really good about the ball club. He said if they get to 5-7 out of the first 12 games, he really feels like they got a shot to go back to the World Series. And, you know, I think with the way they're playing ball and just getting a little bit more exposure outside and all that kind of stuff, I think they're ready to go off. Anything for you guys on this weekend?
Well, at 4-7 on the year, and let's see, it's one, two, three, four, five one-loss games.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing could be flipped around real quick.
Yeah.
And granted, it's early in the year, and I do like what Alice talked about is challenging them. You know, that pre-conference
Yeah.
schedule, kind of getting a good sense of where you're at, and
Yeah.
again, timing of things will get better when you're inside so much. Reading the ball off the bat, reading the ball out of the pitcher's hand, it just takes time. But still seeing some good performances. You know, we've talked about Gavin Smith throwing the ball really well, getting some guys out of the gate, hitting the ball really well early in the year. We looked at a couple guys, Solon when he's in. Bodie obviously had a huge weekend last weekend.
Mhm.
Garrett Rush, you know, probably on the back of another flick to pick. Boss Baby has come out and swinging the bat real well too. So there's a lot of guys. Duran has done well. Kenny Two Names is in there always. So
Yeah.
I think they're just a couple of maybe more outside games that they're going to get rolling,
Hmm.
and you're going to see things click. But I like the challenge, and they're going to hit conference schedule here real soon. They're going to open up conference with McKendree, and again, being the road warriors that they are,
Yes.
I think they're going to get pretty comfortable with that. Start sitting in on those 4 game sets, and if you can win most of those series, you're going to have a good year and be kind of poised for a nice postseason run.
Hmm.
I think when the boys get back at home at Greyhound Park, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of teams don't know how to play those hops.
Nope. Nope.
The way that
So
ball comes at you there is a little unorthodox.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, yes,
It's
it
different.
does.
It is
Um,
different.
and so they don't open up until March 20th at home. I think Rimpey, you said was the date.
Yeah.
So anybody that's taking a look at this, please make sure to make it out to the park. Stidham, you've been a part of the ball club the last couple of years, and last year you guys had, I think you started off like 5-0 and then lost 10 straight. I mean, you guys have you've been a part of those teams that run into those just kind of tough, grinded out sessions. What is it, were there certain things you guys did as a ball club that kind of helped through those situations?
I mean, you just got to really just stay positive and, like, just keep thinking about that end goal at the end of the year. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no championships in February, March. You're looking to be playing in June, late June.
Yeah.
So, you're still working towards that. These games aren't going to kill you right now. So, I mean, that's just keep grinding every day.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, our teams, we're streaky at times. So we dealt with that a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. I used to tell my players they don't hand out medals at the start line.
Yep. Yep.
So getting out of the gate, you may stumble, you're going to have a rough stretch, but it's picking up speed towards the end of the year. And then you saw what happens last year when it got hot.
Yeah.
People barking shouldn't have been in the regional and went and won the thing.
Yep. Exactly.
So yeah, I would expect them to after coming off a good weekend against Davenport, splitting with a good team, going in and kind of testing themselves again with that round robin format in Missouri.
Yeah. Stidham, I like what you said too. I think that makes a lot of sense. And as well as we do that the guys on the bench are a huge component of that positivity and making
Yeah.
sure if certain guys start to struggle that they know there's thunder on the bench that could take their spot, so they better get their shit in gear. But then you're going to mess up our order of who's standing where and all that business. So quit fucking with our stuff and start doing your job on the field because we're doing everything we're supposed to do in here. And like we've set you up to produce, right? I mean, Rimke, you remember a lot of 1-2 with 2 out counts. It was a lot of, hey, help us help you here.
Right.
Help us,
Work.
get us to the 2-2 count.
Right. You have to work the ball here. I don't
Let
care
us
if we have
take
to
some weight off your shoulders, please.
fall off 7-8 pitches if you have to, but you got to get it to 2s. We got to
And
get
then-
deuces wild and we rub
Have
it
to.
up.
2-2 with 1 out. We needed you to work with us to get Kurt up to get his 3-2-1 dance right up in front because every time that thing I mean, God, if the guys between the lines could just do their job, we're doing ours, right?
Right. Right.
Sorry, it gets me all worked up. But
No, I get it. You know,
well,
those
no,
cold games.
I so badly want a McSurf and turf. I haven't stopped thinking about it since I talked about it. Brian, I love you to death. I would bury a Bowie knife in your chest to the hilt if there was a McSurf and turf right here, right now.
Hey man, modern times we can just DoorDash it and we can all be fine. I mean, I don't know why we had to go Bowie knife
to the
on me.
door.
I wanted to emphasize how bad I wanted that. But obviously
It's
you're just being
apparent.
practical and let's
You're
DoorDash
willing to
it.
go aggravated assault to get your McSurf and turf. I mean, come on.
All right, now it's
I think
time
you're
for
looking
our
at 2 to 10.
and no McSurf and turfs for that time. They're not bringing it in.
Yeah, I don't think that's on the commissary. I don't think that's getting to you.
No.
All right, so it's time for our clicks to pick. This is where we identify who we think is really going to help the Greyhounds take 3 out of 4, if not 4 out of 4 on the weekend. Stidham, you're our special guest, buddy. Why don't you kick us off?
I mean, I got to go with Chase Mason. I think he's got a big bat.
Yep.
Solid behind the dish. I think he's going to get it figured out, and he's going to go on a tear the rest of the year.
I like that. I know Reddy said earlier, like once he gets going, man, look out.
Yeah,
and he
he's a hard
started
out.
hitting the ball. Yeah. He started hitting that ball last weekend. And the benefit of having somebody who's really solid behind the plate, but can also swing it too. I mean, a lot of times that catching position is a defensive only position kind of deal.
Mhm.
To have that tool, that's fantastic.
All right. Well, I don't like repeating people, especially this early in the year. We're gonna go a different direction. And I like to look at guys that have been able to contribute, but they're 1 gear away from making even a bigger impact. So this week, I'm gonna go with an outfielder, staying on the offensive side of the ball. Nothing against the pitchers, but I like to let you guys do your thing. So I'm gonna go with Carter Thomas. Let him he's gonna have some time and get out there when they get into Missouri. He's an Iowa guy. So I like his chances to get up there, make an impact this weekend, and I think he's just a couple swings away from kind of blowing the roof off it.
Nice. Carter Thomas, I like that pick. Really solid in the outfield from what I've seen. Really solid defensive player. Stidham, do you have any intel? Oh, Stidham had to go. Told him we would catch him next time. So my click this week, I'm going pitching staff. And I'm not going to say that this young man wasn't flicking last week because I think he very much did so. But I think this coming weekend, he is going to match or surpass that performance and shut down whichever ball club he's facing. I'm going with Aiden Tran. He threw 7 innings. He threw 7 innings on Saturday. Spread out, I think 8 hits, 6 strikeouts. And so, I think he's my click this week. I really like some of these pitchers, and I just want him to go out there and just kind of like what Reddy said, Drake Downing. His body language and everything on that game was just like, let's get this fucking game over, and I'm going to come out here and shove it up your ass, and let's get out here. I think Tran's going to do that same thing.
Well, when you look at Aiden, he needs a little defensive help. He's got 7 unearned runs that have been given up.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those guys that's got a 2.03 ERA. Across, 13 plus innings. And he's scattering some hits, but we got a flash little leather behind him. I think him, as we talked about, Gavin Smith's been really solid. Drake's had a good year. Some other guys that have kind of been in the mix there. Aiden Pearson has had some good relief appearances. So,
Yep.
Again, Al's talked about it. They've got great arms.
Yeah.
But putting all three phases of the game together, I look for a big weekend out of them. They're going to get tested for sure with the schedule, but I like them to go in there and got 2 Friday and 1 Saturday, 1 Sunday.
I think this is where they kind of set it forward and shift into another gear and get 3 out of 4. And then they head into conference play on a real strong note.
Yeah.
So, all right, Rimke, I appreciate your time this week. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will catch you again next week after the series in Springfield, Missouri. Good luck, Hounds. Get a post-game meal. You know where to go for it.